Alright, so I was going to make this killer video of my three cars, mainly showing the Ryft, because the Ryft is what I've been working on, and that's all I've been doing is working on that thing. It's just been a real nightmare putting it together. The two laser nuts, those things are doing really well, and I've not had any trouble with them at all, but the Ryft has just been a problem child. I put it together from scratch, so I got the transmission first, and that cost me like, I don't know, like 80 bucks. And it was like an eBay special. And then I made a little truck out of it and tried to, run it that way. And it just was too shaky, flaky. So I went ahead and got the cage and stuff and just slowly, put things together, got the links. And the axles I got off eBay too. And those were like $1.25. So they were a good price for complete axles with, aluminum axles and everything. I think I got my mesh bad on that thing right now. Anyways, I'm just demoing the lights here. This light, I think it was, I can't remember, like 15 bucks or something. I guess I can put it in the description. But it is just the coolest little light. I really like it. And I can run it from my little radio link controller there. Now up front, I had an extra laser nut body that I got, so I went ahead and just put the laser nut lights on there, and those worked out really good. So I've got a separate switch for those, and I can switch them on and off, via the radio link controller. And I'm just showing off my stuff here, I don't know why, but I'm just doing it. But anyways, what else am I talking about here? Okay, on the back of the Ryft that came with the cage, it has that fuel cell, and the fuel cell is huge inside there, so you could easily fit your receiver in there. So I didn't bother to buy a receiver box from underneath, because on the Ryft you can't even get to your receiver when it's buried underneath your battery and stuff. So anyways, that's how I did it. And then here I'm having trouble with the steering. I'm like, what is wrong? That I got a brand new servo and I really like this servo. It's a 45 kilogram, but the problem was it was a 8.4 volt BEC. And this is just the BLX 100 system, so it's only like 6 volt or maybe 7.4, but it can't drive that servo. So I don't know if I could buy another. Well, I mean, I could buy a BEC to correct the problem, but there's another 50 bucks. I don't know what I'll do with that servo. I just normally don't return stuff, so I'll just hang on to it. Yeah, I'm just showing off my car here. Then I'm going to take it out and drive it around, and then there's where the real discouragement comes in. Immediately, I'm hearing this really bad noise, like my pinion gear is not, the mesh is not good on that. So, that was discouraging, because I know I'm destroying my gear, but I'm saying hell with it, man. I'm just going to run it anyways, and because I want to get some footage in and make a video out of this thing. But no, my whole front diff, my ring and pinion started really making a bunch of noise. Then I lost, front wheel drive. So, I'm just kind of bopping around here. I don't know how good a narrated video like this is going to be, but it's about all I can do. I think once I get done here, I'll go into showing you what I found on the car and what I'm doing to it to get it going better. And matter of fact, I got the drivers today, the clear ones, so I painted those up and they came out really nice. And I think my side panels are coming tomorrow and that, so I'll get them. And then I've got actually sway bars. Those sway bars that are on there came off one of that laser nut body, that extra one that I had, and I just jerry rigged them in, but it's kind of funky. But anyways, on this car, I can get the cage off if I'll just go ahead and go with the video, what I'm talking about on the video, because it wasn't long enough anyways. So that just unplugs and one tie wrap gets cut. And then on my ESC, it wasn't long enough either to make it to my receiver box, so it's got an extender, so it just has to be unplugged. And I put numbers on them, ESC's 2, and of course your steering servo is almost always, from what I've seen, position number 1. Okay, so now all the lighting and any other wiring can stay intact. The receiver can stay intact and everything else. So now all I got to do is release the sway bar, release the 4 shocks, pull these 4 screws, those other 4 screws, and lift her off, and then I'm at my transmission. So let's get going on it. It should go back together a lot better. I can improve on everything when I put it back together. But here we go. Got to find out what's going on in that gearbox. It's just like, I don't know, all messed up. All right, guys, I'm not going to show you the whole process because it's just too time consuming. But I released the shocks from the bottom side. It just felt a lot easier to do it that way. Then pulled the 1, 2, 3, 4 screws out there. Bolts, actually, not screws. And I can also release my drive shafts from underneath. So that makes it a little easier. Once I get these other bolts out on this other side, these 4 bolts here, release just the front shock because I've already got the back shock released. I should be able to separate the whole thing. And I'll go ahead. I don't have to take the drive shaft loose, but I want to take the drive shafts loose because I want to check the diffs on both of these, make sure everything's okay, the axles are good, and the transmission is good. So I'm really going to break it down. Probably even go through the shocks and stuff. I might even get different shocks. I don't know. I just want to get that transmission fixed. So I'll go ahead and pull the bolts, separate it, and then we'll get into the transmission. Okay, all the bolts are out. Let's see if I can crack the oyster open. Looks like I might be able to. Oh yeah. Come on, baby. What else might be attached? Nothing. Just hooked on that bolt. Get that cable out of there. Oh, I got straps up front. And that's it. Just have to release those 2 bolts and it'll be apart. That's it. The battery out of there. That's it, man. Totally can get at it. One thing is my mesh is way too loose. Way too loose. I don't know what's going on with the gearbox until I get in there and look at it, but I don't even want to turn it right now. I'll have to check, you know, see. Maybe there's nothing wrong with the gearbox. Front diff, well, not the diff, but the gear is not working good on the front. It's like skipping along there. And even in the back, it's the same scenario. Not as bad, though. So, but drive shafts seem to be okay. But anyways, I got 3 projects to work on. All three gear setups, you know. So, I don't know. Kind of over my head, really. But I think if I shim this one properly, I'll probably have to get a new sun gear, wherever it's called, the main gear. Get a motor that's sensored, slower, and easier to throttle up and stuff, you know. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I can explain this or figure this out, but it looks like the diff is actually hitting against the housing. I mean, I'm not going to be able to go any more that direction with it. It doesn't have any slop side to side that I can tell. So I'm thinking rather than trying to shim between this bearing and the diff, I might want to bring the pinion gear in more because it's kind of sloppy. It moves in and out a little bit, you know, in and out a little bit. So I think that's where the bushing is needed, down in here behind that gear. We'll see. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but there's part of the gear that broke off the ring gear there. Yeah, let go. Magnetized. Yeah, right in there. Broke off. All right, guys, I think I'm going to make this a 2-part video and end the video here. I appreciate you guys watching. Like and subscribe if you like the video. And if you guys have any suggestions, I might pick up on that because the parts are coming in tomorrow, so maybe I need to do something that I'm not unaware of. But I always appreciate the help. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.